How do, guys? So, Sam not in a van. This is for Keith and Red Pocket Frog on Twitter. Thought I'd show you a bit of the scenery as I'm out walking Stephen. Here we go, kid, come on. Yes, we're loving this, aren't we? So guys, this is a video about my own mental health, PTSD. I'm going to start with telling you about when I was sick, on the sick at Strangeways. September 4th, 2015, I got injured in a restraint. Felt like my shoulder had come out of joint. Anyhow, September the 5th, that's the next day, went into work. One of the nurses gave me a bollocking for turning up. Some painkillers. Told the Oscar one, who was the duty manager, I was going home. Filled in the accident book. And away I went. September the 5th on the sick, never to return. Well, just the once, August the 2nd, 2016. When I got finished by the then governor. Okay, so while I'm on the sick, you're supposed to see a consultant. I didn't. I had 2 phone calls. Stevie, this way. The first one, at 5 months, this guy came on the phone. So the first thing he says to me, you're not getting ill health retirement. Ill health retirement is what it says, guys. It's where you get retired and you are able to draw your pension. That was his opening line, not hello Mr. Samworth, hello dickhead, knobhead, whatever you want to call me, baldy, fat man. You are not getting ill health retirement. So the conversation didn't go well from there. Conversation even. I got very angry. I just got angry now thinking about it. And he told me they will be looking at my case and I will get a phone call in a fortnight's time. Here's the thing when you're not mentally unwell. That phone call destroyed me for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks I was raging, I was angry. I didn't sleep one bit. You know, I was horrible. Amy, bless her, did what she could. You know, tried to calm me down. Not happening. 2 weeks later, spoke to another guy. First thing he said, you're not a mank. I went, no, I'm not. He says, Yorkshire lad. I says, yeah. He says, right, what do I call you? I says, Sam, if you don't mind. He says, okay, Sam. I've had a look at your notes. I don't think you're well, lad. He says, you don't really want to be going back to that job. He says your blood pressure, you know, your physical health as well as your mental health ain't good. So I'm going to recommend you get ill health retirement. I came off the phone and cried. You know, 2 weeks of anxiety and angst because I'd spoke to some prick. And then the next man on the phone, empathy, understanding, great. So at this point, 5 months, I'm thinking I'm not going back to work now. This guy's going to recommend that I get finished. So, let's take it back. There you go, just let you see my my bald napper. Perhaps I should have brought over a cap maybe. But there again, I ain't got to whip it. So we're going back to the snowy scenery, alright. Cheers. So, let me explain. September 2015, I've got an injured shoulder. I went to the doctors. He had a look. Signed me off for a month. At this point, Amy has already decided she didn't want me going back to work that early. As the month came up, I got super anxious, more anxious than I'd already been. I was on medication at this time. My doctor put me on sertraline. I was on blood pressure medication. My blood pressure was horrendous. They put me on a statin for my cholesterol. You know, physically and mentally I was a wreck already. Although, looking back, on reflection, I didn't see that. Amy did, I didn't. And in my mind, I was still going back to work. So, there you go, kid. Come on, good boy. So, I got my second sick note. 2 doctors, Dr. Williams, she was amazing. The other doctor, Dr. Brown, we got into a bit of conflict. He didn't want to sign me off. He says if people are off to work too long, they don't want to go back. So there you go. Dr. Williams, completely understanding. My first conversation with Dr. Williams went along the lines of, can you change your lifestyle in that job? You know, you're at risk. My family history is terrible. You're at risk of stroke and heart attack. Can you change your lifestyle in that job? Which I knew I couldn't. So even at that point, my own doctor was saying, you know, maybe it's time for a career change. So I'm on the sick. You're getting paid full pay in the prison service for 6 months. So I got much better. Did I get much better? By Christmas 2015, I was a maniac when I was driving. Not in speed and that, just challenging people. It was horrendous. There was a lad for Salford who I knew, ex-con, proper hard bastard. Traffic, busy traffic, single file. He come down outside at traffic, tried to push in. I were having none of it. He got out of his car, raging. Amy's telling me to stay in the car. I honestly saw myself jumping up and down on his head. I'm not saying it had got to that. I'd have probably got a good kick in, but that's how I felt. And the other thing, how I was as well. You don't know, dear. You just don't know what you're going to do. And they pulled the steering wheel off our car. I got Billy in the back. So Billy at that point is 9. So, you'd be thinking with your daughter in the car, calm yourself down. I couldn't. Anyway, this guy moved on. About another 10 cars. Got in the traffic. So Christmas. Wow. I can't even remember. Sorry, losing my words now. I can't even remember Christmas 2015. I know it's the first time I've been at home in 11 years for Christmas, but it didn't really make much difference. I know we went to Amy's mum and dad's. Again, I don't remember much about that. Just raging, just an idiot. At this point, unbeknown to myself, I already had 2 therapists. Wow, did you see that, guys? Just check out this, beautiful. I already had 2 therapists. The dude you see up front, Stephen, and Terry, my neighbour, ex-squaddy, best mate. So by the end of 2015, we were walking the dogs 4 times a day. He'd listen to me rant, along with Stephen and Sparky, his dog, and we'd talk about his service, his career. Because Terry, I asked him this early on. He'd seen some bad shit him. This is incredible, guys. Yeah, man. He'd seen some shit early on in his career in the army, some really bad stuff. He was in Ireland. He's the only squaddy I've ever met who's been to Ireland who was quite level-headed. his gaffer, sergeant, whoever, said early on, look Terry, the Irish people don't want us there, we don't want to go, don't take it personal. And that's how he looked at it. So we became best mates and, you know, therapists to each other. So 215 to 216, sorry, 216 to 217. I got finished August the 2nd, 216 by the governor at Strangeways. Still not in a good place. Prior to that, I had 5 months. Well, they call it CBT. I had an amazing therapist from Salford Psychological Services. She put up with me for 5 months. I had the last session on Fridays every week, bar a couple. Some of them ran over by, you know, an hour. Incidentally, during that time, I asked her how they unload. Obviously, if you're listening to people pour their heart out who aren't well, it's got to affect you. So she said that she, come on kid, that she saw someone once or twice a month. During her therapy, seeing me, I'm kerfuffling my words, guys, because I'm getting a bit upset, but there you go. Give us a minute. While she was seeing me, she had extra sessions, 1 a week. It affected her quite bad, she said. Right, let me talk about the therapy. The prison service is shite. I've had friends who've been in incidents, you know, become disturbed. Therapy sessions, half an hour, 6, maybe wait 12 months to get them. What fucking good is that? Yeah, duty of care, there is none. None at all. So November 215, sorry if I'm going backwards and forwards, you know. Anyway, November 215, a couple of mates said, listen mate, you're fucked in the head. You need help. So I contacted Salford Psychological Services. I had an appointment with a counsellor in February. Probably 9 weeks. Way better than the prison service. So I saw this counsellor, 10 minutes into it. East European lass, she was lovely, she stood up. She says, I'm sorry I can't help you. So I says, you know, I'm sorry I've wasted your time. She went, no, you don't understand. She says, I'm not experienced enough and I can't deal with what you are telling me. So I got referred to the psychologist. Like I said, she was amazing. After the second week, all she did was listen to me rant and rave, telling about some of the shit that was in my head, and there was plenty of it, trust me. So, September the 5th, when I went home that day when I was injured, on reflection, had I been unwell during my service? No. Death in custody, turn up the next day. Get injured in a CNR incident, turn up the next day. That's how it happened. I was just bang at it. Up until March 2015, I'd worked 10, 15, sometimes 20 hours a week, extra, above. You know, just doing the job. I did lots of extra shifts because my managers had had staff they didn't know. You know, Friday tea time, I'm due to go home. Bradders or KK, Sammykins, yeah, that's a big boy's name, innit? Will he stop on till 9? So I'd stop on. That way I knew the subjects, you know, the lads, patients, whatever you want to call them. And there you go. So I never saw myself as being unwell. Never questioned it at all. When I saw the psychologist, it was clear to me that, you know, things have been bubbling. The last 6 months, when the prison changed, March 2015, I just fucking lost the plot. So I saw the psychologist, let me tell you, so I'm a grown man. First appointment, I had diarrhea all morning. My appointment were at 2, last one Friday. Enough of it. Come on, kid. Come on. First one, diarrhea all morning, knots in my stomach. Sat outside, got to about 10 to 2, because I was always early, every job I've ever done, early at school, and I was early for my appointments. I got up to go, then thought better of it. Got tears in my eyes, went in. You know, the first session, a bit of a haze really, can't remember much. I do remember her looking and, you know, just sort of, I don't know, almost despair in her face, and that's the first session. So what happens after that? I went home. Amy asked how it had gone on. Felt really good. Almost euphoric. Beautiful out here, guys. Beautiful. So I felt almost euphoric. By about 10 o'clock at night, I was a complete animal. Angry, crying, upset. Not nice. That was the first session. Amy came to dread them. Same MO every time. I'd feel better. Come home. Tears. Anger. My last session was a couple of days before I got finished. July 2016, but that last, you know, she helped me so much. She was amazing. So, there's my dog, Stephen. He's a therapist. Terry, my mate. I'm finished August the 2nd. I saw a guy August the 3rd. What the prison service do when you leave, they get an independent body to assess you. Especially seeing as I was up for ill health retirement. See whether I'm entitled to my pension. I saw this guy, young guy. He was shit hot, honestly. Amazing. Again, I was shitting myself. Fucking diarrhea all morning. I'd finished then. I was done. There were no relief at all, none. In fact, Amy and Billy will tell you, they were sat in the car park August the 2nd waiting for me. I got in early to see the governor. She arrived early. She saw me. She was really good. You know, handled me gently. I saw my caseworker for the first time. There you go, prison service. She was nice, and they both agreed that the best thing for me to do was leave. But when I got back out to the car, Billy and Amy were both like, get us out of here. They said the atmosphere and that sat in Strangeways car park was not nice. So back to the doctor, August 3rd. First thing again, prison service. Come on, fucking sort your shit out. His first question, he says, can you tell me why I'm here? Snow's getting in my eyes now. Can you tell me why you're here? So, I'm going away again. I said, you are here to assess me for my pension for ill health retirement. From then, you know, bobbed on. He had some standard questions to ask. All good. Come on, kid. Sorry for swapping about, guys. You know, trying to make it a bit arty on my Samsung S10. So he was a nice guy. I asked him whether he'd like the reports. By then I had quite a few reports. I had one from the psychologist that basically said I was fucked in head. He didn't say I got PTSD, but, you know, the description. It was obvious what he was going to say. I wasn't looking for a diagnosis. I had one from my doctor. I had about 3 or 4 reports. I sent him in. I got a report from him. It was a relief. He basically said, like I said, this guy's fucked in head. He certainly can't go back. You know, he certainly can't go back to work straight away. He said he recommended that I needed further professional help. He actually asked me whether I'd seen a psychiatrist, and I said not. And he says, do you think you need to? And I asked him, I said, do you think I need to? There you go. Anyway, he sent a report. It basically said that at some point I could go back to work in a job It needed to be a stress-free job, and I needed to be supported by an employer and my doctor. So that's telling you how ill he thought I was. I know I was. So I finished my therapy. I'm now out of work. Things didn't get any better. November. Bit of a change of pace here. It's going on a bit longer than I thought, guys, but you know, if it helps one person, then, and it's not about me, this at all. It's not about, look at me, I've been diagnosed with PTSD at all. It's about being honest and hopefully helping people. So about November, I decided I was going to write a book. I said to Amy, I'm going to write a book. You know that glazed look, guys, when you talk to your missus? What the fuck? Anyway, that's another story. But that came about. But even that, you know, that didn't help. Then Christmas 2016, sorry. I'm getting a bit confused now. Was it Christmas 2016? Yeah. I'm now unemployed. The benefit system is a minefield. That made me ill. You don't get a lot of help. I will say, I went to the Walkden Citizens Advice. I also went to the Walkden Job Centre. Job centres get a bad rap. There was a lass in there I saw 3 times. She was amazing. I had to pretend that I was having an interview though, because she said if her gaffer came over and realised she was speaking to me and I didn't have an appointment, then she'd get in trouble. I would later go on, both myself and Amy, to have quite in-depth interviews at that job centre. And again, we were both handled with kid gloves. So, you know, these places get a bad rap. Thumbs up, Walkden Citizens Advice, and the Walkden Job Centre, which I don't believe is there anymore. 2017, not well. 2017 was a strange year. Really strange year. We found out Amy's dad was unwell. Jesus. Graham. Lovely mum. So by this time, I got a book deal. He was chuffed to bits. He had a camper. He had it built for his birthday. He'd always wanted one. He retired. Right, I'm back with you. Anyway, it's a very sad story. He was a lovely man, and his mum. He had this camper built. First time he took it out, you know, he had a fit. He weren't well. Anyway, turns out he had cancer. So, this camper's up for sale. I'm still not well, me. I says to Amy after it being up for sale for a month, I'm going to take my pension early from the prison service. It weren't going to be worth a lot. I'd probably get off. I don't know. I weren't bothered. To buy your dad's camper. She says no, he'll be too upset. So I thought, fuck it. I took my money. I saw him one day. We went over Sunday dinner. He was still, you know, still all right at this point, midsummer. I says, Graham, such a lovely man. I didn't realise we were going to get this upset. So I'm going to buy a camper. Both started crying. Our last come in. Mum. They started crying, and we bought a camper, and we'll always have it. By Christmas, he was really unwell. That last month took Amy to Sheffield every day from Manchester. Picked her up at night. She was knackered, spent all day with her mum and her dad. And he passed 23rd of December, might have been 22nd. Brain's gone a bit a minute. Anyway, so that weren't good. So we gets into 218. My book's coming out. My book didn't mean anything. You know, she'd lost her dad. It upset me a lot. It was a really tough year. Amy struggled. I'm still not well, me. I haven't even talked about sleep yet. Let me tell you. PTSD, yeah. Firemen and squaddy. Both have them nightmares where they wake up screaming an incident. Squaddies might well fear for their life. Firemen too. It's how it affects you in your life. It never stopped me doing anything. Never stopped me going to work. I obviously, you know, some of the things I saw and did stayed with me. Deaths in custody, fucking nightmares for 3 months and that. But you turn up to work every day. My sleep from 2:15 to date has been absolutely toss. This last 3 months has been worse it's been. It's a thought process PTSD with me. Prison's constantly going over my mind. One of my friends says, well, you know, you're sort of immersed in it, which I am, but do you know what? I've had that many messages from people since I started the podcast, just from the book, all sorts of people, vets, serving prison officers, people who've been in prison service a long time, ex-officers, firemen, you know, all sorts of people, normal people, people who've been in prison, you know, all thanking me for being honest. So, you know, that's a worthwhile thing. Back to the sleep, you know, let's take last night, went to bed 11:30, 1 o'clock I'm looking at my phone, I'm up at 4. Our last blesser says, I don't think she understands, she tries, but you know, she's sort of like, well, you can sleep in day. I can't sleep in day. Excuse me. I can't sleep in day. So the PTSD with me, it's a thought process. My mind don't shut down. But there's lots of positivity and things don't upset me like they used to. I used to have horrendous nightmares. You know, Billy being in prison. At one bit I was having a dream where we were fucking living on F-wing at Forest Bank. Can you believe that? Living on a prison wing with your family with the cons. Fucking hell. And you'd wake up disturbed. So, current date now. It's just been horrendous, the sleep thing. And what people don't understand, when you have no sleep, and I mean no sleep, you know, you're on edge. Anxiety, you know, I'm not depressed, but anxiety comes on. This last month, well, this last 2 weeks, I've had panic attack upon panic attack. Fucking horrible. I've had a friend who's just recently had one, and he just said, you know, he thought he was having an heart attack. The worst one was last week. I was with Lado here, up here, just come on. I knew it would come in. Just curled up in a ball on the floor. Can't control it when it happens. They're horrendous things. I'll tell you now, something else I need to mention. Always in my life, no surprise to some of you, my weight has gone up and down. I'm 6 foot, 17 stone, 6 foot, I'm fit, healthy. At the minute, I'm about 18 and a half, 19. Drank too much, ate too much this last 2 months. It doesn't help the anxiety at all. I'm fucked off with myself putting the weight on. You know, lots of people, weight is an issue, and it is with me. So I'm angry with myself. The panic attacks, you know, I know why. It's the lack of sleep. It's total exhaustion. But there you go. There's lots of positives. I'm happy the way I'm going. I can't wait to be podcasting every week. All these people. The messages from people, Jesus, some of the lives. You think you've had a bad life, or, you know, you've seen some shit. People have just So many people who've been abused and just been in abusive relationships. And you know, Gail and Holly, it's helped. So I'm hoping this helps today. I'm probably quite confused how this has come across. I'm hoping people do understand. As I say, there he is. Best therapist in the world. So let me tell you now where I am. My sleep's horrendous. This last month, 3 months like I've said, but this last month's terrible. And what do? You know, I used to lay in bed, not disturb our lass. You get up at 3 o'clock, you go on laptop, you get her up at 5:30. You know, be sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you've done like a normal full day of being up. So just try and fill my day, get as busy as I can, replying to messages and stuff like that. There's lots of positivity. I am not depressed. And through all this, I have never ever considered harming myself, not at all. So, it's been going on a while now, this. The diagnosis of PTSD, like I say, was always going to come. If you're having nightmares, reoccurring nightmares, I've been told it's complex PTSD, you know, layers and layers and layers and layers of shit. It don't matter what it is. The thing about PTSD, though, is how it affects people's lives. It does not stop me doing anything at all. You know, there's people who, you know, they become claustrophobic and antisocial. My mate knew a fireman, a neighbour. I'll tell you this little story. This fireman, you know, larger than life character. Anyway, one day, he brings a kid, 10, 11, 12, burnt to death out of a building. He went on sick. The whole street could hear him for 6 months, screaming every night, waking up. He eventually moved. My mate still sees him now and again. Broken man. Never worked again. Just destroyed him. So, you know, that is the extreme. That is someone's life ruined doing a job. Might touch people's lives for months. You know, you're in a car crash, a few nightmares. What we shouldn't do, though, is dismiss it. You know, not make it like a bad back. I have a bad back. A lass I used to work with, if she has a night out at a family wedding, is in bed for a week. She'll probably be in a wheelchair by the time she's my age. Bad back, bad back. Mine doesn't stop me doing anything. Same as PTSD. Right, guys, I'm going to call it quits now. I hope this helps people. It might be a bit disjointed, but, you know, I am in a good place, me. Sleep, anxiety, panics, I know what's happening. At least I know what's happening. And I'm going to do something about it. I never mentioned alcohol as well. Alcohol makes it worse. You know, yeah, you fall asleep, but then it's even more disturbed sleep if you get any and you feel like shit the next day. So, Sam not in a van. Old loft house colliery pit site. Parting. Have you got out to say, Stevie? One last look, guys. Real porridge. See you later. Try again.